Hi Capricorn, I'm Anisha. You can write to me at tarotbyanisha@gmail.com. You can also visit my website www.tarotbyanisha.com, and this is your annual forecast for 2016. Capricornians, Pluto has been there in your sign since 2008, and it carries on being there till about 2023. And Pluto lessons are all about transformation. Pluto is a god of underworld, so everything that is there deep inside during this entire Plutonian phase tends to get it tends to come up on the surface for inspection. And this is also a time wherein that your personal demeanor, appearance, presentation to the outside world is going to be having a very powerful and a lasting effect on you and to the world around you. So in a way you could be sort of not really be under scanner, but you could be up for inspection, wherein that people are noticing how it is that you conduct yourself. And because this has been happening since 2008, it can be that the decisions that you have taken since then and that you will also do till carry on about 2023 are going to be pretty much setting the foundation for your later life. So for those of you, of course, who are much younger, ensure that the whatever it is that Pluto has brought up, whether that's your belief system, whether you've had to change, whether you've had to compromise, and because transformation is one of the largest things over here, it's a time maybe you have had to, throughout this entire phase, you're dealing with the truth, harsh reality, maybe that you were not really aware of as to how things can be, how good or bad things can be. And it can also be for some of you, you have not been able to let go of the past, and this has to do with your childhood, Capricornians. It can do with issues that were there when you were small, and which have become either patterns or they have become trauma centers in your head, and you've just sort of locked them and put them on a side. And now as you are going ahead, and for those of you who are brave enough to look at that and shed a light onto those dark part of your we all have that dark space inside within us, but those of you who have been brave enough to shed a light on that dark space and say, okay, I know this bit of it I can change, and I know this bit needs work on. And the interesting thing for all of us to remember also during the entire Plutonian phase is that change is difficult. It's not that all of us, we have the best of intentions and saying that, yeah, I'm going to be changing, but it gets hard at times. So as long as you are walking, doing it one step at a time, as long as you're making those small changes, it's quite fine. It's also during this phase you are going to be seeing people for who they are and understand them exactly as to what is it that they mean. And it's a good time to be taking back control and to get below the surface. So it's a great time to be getting your internal organs also checked. It's a good time to be, if there have been some, psychological issues, it's a good time to be doing that as well, because Pluto is everything that has to do, which lies beneath. So, and since all of it is going to be coming up on the surface, it will be a good time for you to be examining them, seeing what works, keeping that, and letting go of something that would no longer be working for you. They can be that during this phase also you will make radical changes to your body and to your the way that you are, because it's a very outwardly place, this part of your chart. So it has to do more with physical appearances. It can be that, and you're still changing from 2008 to 23, that you'll define a very specific style for yourself. There'll be a specific look. Maybe you no longer adhere to certain style rules that you used to earlier, and there's just a drastic change right now. And while of course this is and for some of you there can be some great fat loss as well. Now, while the visible transformation is what people can see, and of course, I mean, it will alter the way that they change for you as well, and for you there's going to be a confidence of your in your self-image. But the important thing is going to be unlocking and expressing the power of what it is that's really unique about you, and use this entire energy because Uranus is still there for the next couple of years, use it to sort out issues that have just been lying, even if they're not buried, they're just there on the surface, but you don't want to do anything about it. It's a good time for self-healing as well. It's a good time to be taking stock of things, and especially, again, this has to do with you, yourself, your dreams, your goals, your desires. And a lot of times when Pluto comes into place, it's a time where our own life comes up for evaluation. We look at it and we see that what is it that we want, how it is that we want things to be. Uranus is there in your house of home. That's a place where you live and the place with the people with whom you share your space. It's also your house of mother. So it can be that, and Uranus carries on being there till about March 2019. So there can be some amount of chaos. You may find that this either you're constantly chasing the plumber or the electrician to get something fixed, or something seems to be getting broken always at home, or there's always a plumbing issue. Because with Uranian energy is very unpredictable and it's very chaotic. So it can be that you are constantly, you fix one thing and something else gets broken. You fix that, then again you find out something else is leaking. And this will just carry on for a while. So till about this phase, it's not really advisable to be buying new property. Don't try not to invest fresh in real estate. And however, improvement home projects, of course, they are recommended. They will be extremely not just beneficial, but they can, however, prolong. I mean, they'll, like I said, they'll always be sort of something that will get left. Uranus, since it's also there in your house of your home, and you can find one of your parents being quite erratic. You just find that your parent is being extremely unreasonable, or it can be that if you are the it can be that you could also find it really hard to be not just expressing but being able to manage your relationships with your own parents, or for those of you who are really of that age, are much older. You'll find the same thing, that either you're behaving in a very strange way with your children, or you're being very unpredictable, or one day you're feeling good and the other day you're in a bad mood, and so the mood swings can be there quite a bit. And there can be some changes in your family. You can change your ties with your family. Saturn is there in your house of spirituality, behind the scenes, and he's there for the next 2.5 years. And Saturn, when it transits this particular house, it brings up again things that we've been hiding, and this more has to do with the subconscious. It has to do with your spirituality. It also has to do with research work, working with hospitals, working with people in prison cells. And it's a time wherein also this has to do with addiction patterns, and also things that we do not want, feelings that we don't want to deal with. And Saturn now over here for the next 2.5 years is just going to be teaching you or bringing about lessons or for you, that you will be made to sort of face up the emotional issues that you could have been avoiding, or you could be thinking that I really don't need it, or it's not really required, and I'm quite sorted. But it's Saturn's job, because every time that Saturn comes up to play, it means that we have been ignoring a certain part of our life, and that needs to be looked at. And you can experience, you can find during this time that you're being quite or you have been quite an escapist as far as certain maybe emotional things are concerned. There can be certain patterns. Maybe you are too used to being in a negative way, and or even dealing with people, and you no longer realize it, but you just behave in that way because you're so used to behaving in that way. And it's a time wherein that you will experience it's a very serious energy. This house is quite a heavy house, and it doesn't mean that it's bad. It's just that it's quite a heavy, serious energy, and you will be asked to, clean out this eventually. It's really called the cleaning up of the psyche, and you will not be able to sort of run and hide and escape from the Saturn gaze, because Saturn is extremely patient, but Saturn also loves effort. And Capricornians, you're not used to, I mean, you're not new to the Saturn. I mean, Saturn is your ruling planet, so you understand responsibility like no one else does. So for you, it's not, the hard work is not going to be really a worry. It's not that it's going to be scaring you and you'll say, oh God, I have to work. But I think it's more on the acceptance bit of it. More of the thing of acknowledging and saying that yes, I have an issue and I need to be sorting it. It's not just saying that, oh, maybe I work, it'll just sort of go away. You really have to accept it, acknowledge it, understand, and then say, yeah, I do have an issue with the way that I behave, or there are some destructive habits that I have, or maybe there's some negative patterns that I have that really need to go, and then work on it. Really make that effort to put it right. It's not really a good space with this house being lit to be starting something really radically new, or it's rather sort of a time of endings, because it's there in the last house. So it can be that you could be closing something for the next 2 years. You're putting an end to a pattern. You're closing a certain issue that has been there. And by, of course, the end of this transit, you're going to be having much less weight on your shoulder, and Saturn is going to be moving into your first house, and you're going to be ready to hit the ground running. Jupiter is there in your house for the first 9 months. It's there in a part of your house which is about long distance travel. It is about studies. And Jupiter, of course, will come and just expand everything for you. And it's quite a lovely time. And then Jupiter is going to be changing direction from 10th of September. And then it will move into your house of career. Now, when Jupiter is there, he's the natural ruler of this house. So for the first 9 months, Jupiter being there, he's quite at home and he's good for you. He's good for everybody in any case. But because this is his own house, it speaks about you being able to expand your life in some way. And it's also a time that you will get plenty of opportunities to be doing that. You are unusually going to be quite optimistic and light-hearted Capricornians, and you would want to focus on, you would not want to focus on anything that is serious. Life is good and you would want to experience all of the goodness out there. You can learn something new, go back to school, pick up a degree, or get into writing. Dealing with the law is going to be smoother, because this house also covers legal proceedings. In business, you could deal with people from other places who help you, and promoting your work can be beneficial. You can see the big picture now, and because of this, you are a lot less stressed over smaller things that come up on a daily basis. You know things will work out just fine and there is no need to worry. However, with Jupiter changing direction on September, that's another 10th, that's another spectacular placement for you. That's a time wherein that you'll find that your career gets really highlighted. So you can expect from 10th September 2016, you're getting new opportunities. There's some accolades that are there. You're getting public recognition for your work. It can be that you get some credit for the work that you have done. It's also a time that you'll get to travel a lot on work, Capricornians. Your work is really going to be appreciated. And it's not just a status that will rise due to your efforts at work or because of your career, but you will also see your bosses, your mentors be extremely supportive to you during this time. And this entire phase of September being there till about October 2017, it's a time wherein that you are just going to be feeling that you can do anything. You can change direction of your career. You can start something new. If you've been in with a particular industry, it will be easier for you to be moving to another one. You will get accepted easily. There will be plenty of opportunities through which you will be able to choose. And it's really a time where you will finally be able to achieve a goal that you've been working towards. And you can now create new goals for yourself that are bigger and more daring that you would have ever previously thought about. On March 9th, we have a solar eclipse in Pisces, and this is happening in your house of It's happening in your house of communication, travel, and siblings. And solar eclipse energy is it's a new moon energy, so that means it's something you can expect. A lot of communication during this time. You'll find that either you're constantly on the phone or you're talking a lot with people, and you could be gathering information a lot, and all this is going to be very smooth because it's a new moon energy. It's going to be very supportive energy for you. Making quick decisions is favorable. Try not to sort of analyze too much and think too much, and you may just miss the opportunity. So make quick decisions over here. This house also rules siblings, so it can be that you're spending some more time with your siblings and having more interactions with them. It can also be friends who are like siblings, for those of you who don't have siblings. Or it can be that you are restoring a relationship that hasn't been the way that you would want it to be for a while. Short distance is a part of, short distance travel is a part of this particular house. So it can be that you make a day trip, perhaps for a task or just a whim. Updating your close environment and joining a neighborhood watch, or picking up maybe, just making your environment far more cleaner, other things that you are going to be really involved in. Now Neptune is there in this house as well, Capricornians, and he is there for the next 7 years. So it can be that you can have, you could be idealizing all these things a lot. It can also be that you are having a tough time keeping schedule, that constantly either appointments keep getting cancelled or the date keeps getting moved. It's also that you could be likely to be, more late than usual. You'll find yourself either you're constantly running late whether it's to keep up appointments or even to reach for work or reach anywhere. There'll just be this sense of delay over there. And you're going to be also having a hard time dealing with facts, Capricornians, and tend to take your information through emotion more and rather than intuition. So watch out for that. You may feel quite misunderstood, and all this is Neptune doing its play, because Neptune is this really hazy, floaty planet, and it's when you look at things in the moonlight, they look very different, and that's what Neptune does. So keep that at the back of your mind, that Neptune is really at play. So seek more clarity and information over which you may feel that, oh, I'm not so sure whether this is how it is or this is what the person said. Capricornians, we have a lunar eclipse that is there on March 23rd, and this is going to be lighting up your house of career and reputation. And full moon is, the lunar eclipse is a full moon energy, and they're normally far more, full moons are more emotional than new moons are, because it's a closure of sorts. A project is culminating, something is coming to a fruition. You are, it can be that you are on your, maybe you're starting a new job, maybe you've just closed a new project, and there's just a sense of nostalgia that is there. And it can also be that you're receiving accolades for a project done very well, and you could be under the public eye. People would be giving you credit, and there can be some amount of accolades that could be coming your way during this time. And also some of you can decide to go completely in a new direction. It will be very separate, very different from what is it that you've been doing so far, and you will decide that this is something that you want to do, which may not be something that you even studied for. So some of you may just decide to pursue your passion and go ahead with it. And evaluating your commitment to your long-term goals, and whether or not your goals with you give the success that you want, can come up with this particular placement. And authority figures can be a source of frustration, whether it is a boss or a parent. And if things have already been challenging at your workplace, or even with authority figures or with your parents, it can just sort of come up more in the open, and your social status could take a hit for it. Make sure that you're watching yourself in public, Capricornians, so that you don't offend someone or make yourself look like a fool by accident. Be quite careful. And things that have been hanging on far past, their due date, they could have the cord cut right now. So this is all about, maybe if a project has just gone into a kind of maybe a stagnant mode, maybe it's just been there for the longest of time, that will just, a decision will get taken on it. Similarly, even as far as your reputation, social status is concerned, that too, it could take especially if things have been challenging, you have been having a tough time dealing with your bosses, then it can be a little bit of a time where, that many invites are not going to be coming your way. Now, Mars is going retrograde from April 18th until June 30th, and Mars goes retrograde once every couple of years for approximately 80 days. And this is going to be in your house. Mars is going retrograde in your house of behind the scenes. It's the house of spirituality, house of service. This is where you come and rest. Now, Mars is obviously an extremely aggressive energy, and Mars coming over here, it's you already have Saturn in this house. So this house is like, it's quite a heavy house because it's also a house of patterns, addictions, and on the flip side, this is also a time wherein that you are more compassionate, or you get more, or your sense of compassion expands, and you are likely to be working with say hospitals, or with people in prison. And this is during the Mars retrograde. Generally the thumb rule is not to it's not the best time to be starting something. It's not a great time to be it's not a great time to be getting into any arguments or getting into any debates. Not a great time to be starting divorce proceedings as well. Avoid a surgery, of course. I mean, if you must go and you've been unwell, then yes, please. And in the second part of it, that is around June 30th, we have Mars that's going to be moving into your house of friendships as well. And even that is going to be coming up for speculation or observation or examination. So you could be observing your friends and seeing as to who it is really walks or talks. With Mars retrograde, you have to be careful not to start anything new, despite the Martian energy being very aggressive and pushing you and urging you. It's not really the best of time to be starting anything new. Even as far as friendships are concerned, it's a time wherein that a lot of them could come up for examination, and you could be either there can be some arguments with friends, or it can be that you will be observing more keenly as to how it is that your friends really walk the talk. May and October, we have a square between Saturn and Neptune, and Saturn is there in your house of spirituality, and we have Neptune that is there in your own house. So squares in any case are slightly difficult places, in the sense that they are not in sync with each other. There's a sense of disharmony, and they don't fit well. And Saturn is all about structure, and Neptune is he's flaky, and he's very airy, and there is no boundaries with Neptune. So you may be wanting, there is a sense of reality which Saturn is asking you to have, and wherein that Neptune is going to be churning all that sense of compassion and making you inspirational, and making you generally maybe look at life not exactly as to how it is, and maybe you could be idealizing certain things, not just life, because it's there in your own house. So it can be maybe your own capabilities and competencies could be getting enhanced, which may not be true. So you could be not just a sense of overconfidence, I think, but there can be a sense of feeling that an escapism that could be there, where you may not be wanting to deal a lot of stuff with your own self. And Saturn, of course, it's there in your house of spirituality, and it's there in your house of service, and it's asking you to draw boundaries, to have structure, and to think carefully and to move very carefully about whatever action it is that you take. In July, we have a beautiful trine. We have Jupiter and Pluto that are forming this lovely trine, and it's a lovely aspect. You can expect good news that is connected with work. There's great fortune, there's journey, and you can be meeting somebody from overseas, and it's also a time wherein that you will be taking a big leap as far as spirituality is concerned. So you can expect a lot of progress in that front. We're ending the year with a glorious trine between Uranus and Saturn, and you can expect some good news as far as love is concerned. Quite suddenly, you may just meet somebody, or you may decide, maybe you've just started dating and you may just decide to take the relationship to the next level quite quickly. There can be some unexpected growth as far as your career is concerned, and some of you may fall in love quite suddenly. So quite a lovely year for you Capricornians. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. I'll see you soon, and thank you so much for watching.